One of the most common things I see when yoga teachers are starting out, or even if they've been trying to teach yoga for a while, is this idea of teaching everybody. And the premise is simple. Usually there's a bias of, I don't want to appear as somebody who's pretentious, and I'm also a new yoga teacher, and I'm looking to teach anybody that I can. So I'm going to teach everyone who comes along, and I'll just market my classes as good for anyone. The problem with this is that it doesn't give anybody the opportunity to say, oh, that's me, because nobody wants to identify with everyone, right? Like, you either think that you're separate from the majority of people, vis-a-vis you've got a more developed practice or more advanced practice, or you've been practicing for longer than most people, you see? So we all have some kind of bias in one side or the other. The other side of the spectrum is, I'm super brand new. I'm just learning. I'm not ready for intermediate or advanced classes. So there's always some kind of pitch, right? I can't do arm balances, or I can do arm balances. You see, we all have these identifiers within us. And as part of that, as part of having these little things that we identify with in the moment, when we have something that, or when we come across something that is written to anyone and everyone, it doesn't give us an opportunity to identify with anything. Now, philosophically in yoga, that's probably a good thing, right? There's probably something in the sutras that makes that case or that point. But in marketing, if you're gonna help people, you need to let them know that you are speaking directly to them. How do you do that? Well, you speak to a specific problem that they have, need that they have, or want that they have. Do you need to recover from an injury? Do you want to access a certain asana? Are you finding it difficult to apply whatever? Right? So those are all examples of things that help people say, yeah, that's me. I'm working on crow. I'm working on splits. I have a hard time flexing my core because I don't feel like it's very strong, or I can't bring my awareness down to that point in my body. And when someone agrees, and in their head they're going, yeah, then they'll take the action you want them to take. Attend the class, register for the workshop, join the webinar, follow you, whatever, right? So the better you can understand where they're at, the more likely they'll take the action that you ultimately want them to take. And while we're doing this as yoga teachers, this means we can't be the everything teacher or teaching beginners. Right? Who are beginners? Why? See, beginner isn't a deep enough layer for people to deeply identify with. Those who call themselves beginners, they call themselves beginners for a reason. They don't identify with the level of flexibility that some students have. They don't identify with the level of advanced asanas other people can do. They feel like they haven't been doing it for very much time. They don't know very much about yoga. There's many different reasons and qualifications for why someone would self-identify consciously or unconsciously as a beginner. They may even continue to identify as a beginner so as to avoid being labeled intermediate. There may be some ideas that this comes with being better, or some other ranking qualifier amongst others in the space, right? There's all kinds of psychological reasons why someone would continue to identify as something. So my point being here that trying to appeal to everyone actually appeals to no one, because psychologically nobody wants to identify as just anyone. What part of you identifies as anyone, right? If you're a yoga teacher, right, and you're really wanting to pursue it, chances are your job isn't your favorite, right? Chances are you don't love working for a big established Fortune 500 company because of the prestige, right? You might like it because it's a good job, or because it's what you thought you wanted on your journey before really getting into yoga, whatever it is. Yeah? So there has to be something that we identify with, and that identification allows us to make that connection. It's what allows us, oh, there's a lizard. Let's see if I can show you guys. There we go. Can't see him. I thought I heard him around here earlier. Or her. Must have disappeared. Lots of animals here. So it's really hard for people to identify with something when there's no specifics given. And when there's no specifics given, people don't feel like they resonate, right? Get that focus going again. And again, it's really hard for them to take any action. They want to take action. Everyone on the internet, everyone alive wants to take some kind of action. What's necessary is finding the right action for the right people. So there are people who just want to do yoga for aesthetic reasons, and that's their path. That's fine, right? They're going to connect with someone who's willing to show them that and connect with them on that level. There's other people who are into yoga for other reasons, more spiritual, more esoteric, more mystical. They're looking for less of the physical asana practice and more into the other practices like Ayurveda and sound baths and pranayama, whatever other ones you want to add, Vipassana, right? But even if you're just searching for Vipassana, there are things you identify with. There are things you want to do. There are things you want to learn. There are tactics and skills and techniques, right? So if you're someone offering Vipassana, you need to understand what someone who wants to do Vipassana wants. Why do they want it? Do they want to quiet their mind from their job? Are they having family issues? Are they looking for more internal awareness? Possibly all three. But if you can speak to those things on a website or a social media post, then that gets people going, yeah, that's why I want to take Vipassana. You see? So it's really important to do this. You can't just say, you can say that Vipassana is for everyone, but there are people who it is more specifically for in this moment. There are people who are more ready to take it in this moment. And those people are probably a much bigger group of people than you may realize. And so we want to go deeper than just understanding them as someone who wants to do Vipassana. Yeah? This is the difference. See, for many yoga teachers and for myself, I came from this place too. At the beginning of my yoga journey, I thought I could teach everyone, right? I knew that yoga had benefits for everyone. I knew many of the benefits for different age groups and different conditions and different body types and stuff. And that was fantastic. But what it ended up resulting in was me being torn between doing all these different things and saying to myself, what am I going to teach? What am I going to focus on? And having fears of leaving people out or missing an opportunity or missing a chance to make some money, because I was barely making any back when I first started. Those were things I was afraid of. And as a result, I found it difficult to really get specific and really help a specific group of people. Okay, so here's my own example. Here's one of the examples that I like to come back to is kind of the process that I went through, and saying, okay, right now, like I've come to a place where I, did my teaching, and then I started doing teacher trainings, and I really enjoyed working with people at that level versus people at the studio, right? Nothing wrong with working at the studio, but I wanted the space to go deeper with people who had already demonstrated more commitment to the practice and been involved with it for a longer period of time, so that we could work on different levels of material. And then I started realizing that I enjoy tech, and I have a tech and business background, and I've learned a lot of online skills, and I want to help other teachers go online because they struggle with it. Not everyone has the tech and business background that I do, and so that was the space that I really wanted to be working in with yoga teachers, because I appreciate the field of yoga and the transformation that it's brought in my life, and I want to help other yoga teachers have more freedom in their life and be able to travel more. And so that's the work that I do. Okay, now I help yoga teachers teach yoga online, but I don't help all yoga teachers online. You see, so there's lots of layers. So if I don't help all yoga teachers teach online, who do I help? Well, I help people who want to build an online yoga business, right? Something more than just an individual subscription. I am not in the field of helping yoga teachers build asana class or pranayama or meditation recorded random videos for a $10 or $15 a month subscription. There are people out there who can help you do that. There are people out there who focus on doing that. There are yoga teachers out there who are successfully doing that, and maybe not as successfully doing that, right? There are teachers out there who are focusing on just writing a book and selling just ebooks. That's another equally valid model. There's people who are very successful, people who are less successful. There are pros and cons to it. There are people out there who just want to offer a mini course. Great. Same applies. But for me, I work more in the premium / high ticket creative course space. Why? Well, because in my opinion, it is a very attractive part of the market. B, it allows me to fully show up and completely express the variety of skills that I have. I enjoy teaching asana class and meditations and pranayams and that sort of thing, but I also enjoy teaching theory of yoga. I also enjoy teaching about technical how-tos. I enjoy how to put things together and make things work online. So I wanted something that would set me apart, allow me to use a lot of the skills that I have, and do it in a way that was going to help me earn a good income online, right? So I started combining things. I combined the market of yoga teachers who want to build a premium / high ticket course, and focused that on technical applications that show them how to do that. So that's very, very specific, right? That means that I'm not in the space of helping everyone, because if someone else who's a yoga teacher just wants to record videos of them doing asana, pranayama, or meditation, or whatever else, and just put those out 2 or 3 times a month for a $10 or $15 subscription, they're just looking at different platforms. They're willing to pay different amounts of money for that kind of training. They're looking for more or less support. They have a completely different business model. And I've personally tried that, and I didn't find it very rewarding or fulfilling for me. And I found that it was a lot of effort for what I was asking of people. And I realized that the process of asking people to work with me on a deeper level for a longer period of time and do something more impactful than asana, pranayama, or meditation classes together, that was more in what felt like true alignment for me, because I could do more with them and I could work more deeply with students over longer periods of time and increase our ability to get results together, right? So this is a very, very specific group of people, and the beautiful part is when you're very detailed on who those people that you're going to help are and what transformation you're going to deliver for them, then it's easier for them to say, yes, you're the one for me. You know? Because you've mapped out the path, the route that you're going to take them on. And for me, that's where my passion lies at, is that crossroads of yoga and technology and business. And using those combinations together to allow us to receive what we're worth as yoga teachers, to make the transformation we want to make in other people, to help the world be a better place, right? So if I just wrote things generically on my websites and my social media, what would I write? Because people who are working on publishing ebooks have different needs and wants and concerns than people who are publishing subscriptions, than people who are doing mini courses, than people who are doing in-person classes. And to try and do combos of those takes a considerable amount of effort and focus. Now the ebook, once you got it set up, it's set up. So that's definitely something you could do, you know, one time, get it built, and then work on the next project. You know, I'm not going to go into the pros and cons of each, but each different way of delivering material online has its pros and cons. And someone who is more along their journey in this entrepreneurial space and continuously putting themselves in a place of sweet discomfort will very likely have multiple offers over multiple platforms, over multiple methods, right? They may have a podcast and a book and a mini course and a retreat and a premium course, and you know, but that's usually someone who's working very diligently at this for a very long period of time. And further, people that have all of those things usually aren't offering like just an ebook on some random topic and a retreat on a completely different random topic. They may cover different areas of their skills, but usually people who are doing it very, very well for a long time and earning top dollar, usually their ebook and their retreat and their mini course and their premium course and their coaching and their streaming service and their social, they're all congruent. They all work with each other. And so, you know, like if you get the ebook, there's a connection to the mini course. And if you get the mini course, there might be a promo or a discount or a referral link or something to the premium course or the coaching or the retreat, right? And so usually people are going on a much bigger journey, but I recommend for teachers that are looking to get started online, you start with one type of project, you focus on it until it's earning you money and you're getting feedback from real paying clients who are saying what they like, what they dislike, what they want to see. At that point, you can really start to make changes or start adding additional products and services. If you've got a mini course and a lot of students are saying, you know what, yeah, we'd love a book from you. Great, that's a good indicator you should make a book, right? But you see, that's the difference is that's someone who's paid for a mini course from you and expressing that desire to go to that next step with you versus someone who is in your comments or your DM saying you should do a book, right? Now, if someone's in your comments or your DM saying you should do a book, it's a great indicator. There's that train again. You see, I talked about this in one of my other videos, how I come out of the day at different times and the train still comes by. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up. So you wanna have things that are related and take people on a journey, but the only way to really get good at that is to be very specific on the people that you help and the journey and transformation that you take them on, right? Especially if that replicates your own path, all right? So if you'd like to learn more about how you can do this, then I want you to check out the link below, and I've got a free workshop that you can register for. I'll see you inside.